Being good at putting really comes down to one key factor, and that's distance control. But what do you do when you're working from home like I am and you don't really have as much time to practice your distance control? Today, I'm going to give you a couple of ideas on how you can practice your distance control with putting while you're working from home indoors. Let's do it right meow. Thank you very much for tuning in to the YouTube channel. My name is Kenny. Some of you may know me as Kennie Kat. I am a competitive golfer, and this channel is dedicated to my journey on what it takes to become a better competitive golfer. If you've looked at any of my recent videos talking about my tournament recaps, you may have noticed that my putting has started to slip. What used to be one of the strongest parts of my game has now become an area that has started to struggle. The main reason that this has started to struggle is because I've been putting a lot of time into my driver. I've been really building my approach game and working very good on my wedges, but I haven't really dedicated as much time to putting distance control as I should. And I'm of the firm belief that putting is like working your core. It's like doing sit-ups. Like if you go to the gym, you work out different parts of your body, your core should always be getting a workout, because if you start to have a weak core, then everything else just kind of goes to crap. But like many of you down that lens, you're probably working from home, or maybe you just aren't able to get to the range or get to a putting green to practice putting as often as you would like, but you do have 20 minutes or 30 minutes or so to do it at home. I figured I would take a step away from my normal videos and give you a look inside to what my daily practice looks like at home when I don't get to the course. And I've been looking for a couple of different options, as you know, to find a better putting setup. And now that I've got a little bit more space in my new home, I want to show you what I'm working with and kind of what I have set up and give you an idea of how you can do something similar in your own homes. All right, as I'm sure some of you have noticed, I've got myself a new little golf bat cave, so to speak, and my new YouTube/golf office is basically a bedroom that we've converted into an office. And as many of you know, I do have my birdie ball putter, which is oddly setting up in the bathroom. This is the space that I have for it. And yes, it does stay there 24/7. So I've got my birdie ball, which gives me about 9 feet or so of space in which to work with. And then it just so happens to be that the carpet height is pretty much the same height as the birdie ball. So what we have from there is 9 feet of the birdie ball, and we've got about another 10 feet of carpet space that goes all the way over here to the wall. And I figured that I could get some distance putting on this bad boy right here, because I've got 20 feet that I can roll some putts on. But even though there's 20 feet there, we have to figure out exactly the speed at which the carpet runs relative to the birdie ball. So the birdie ball is stimped out to 11 to 12, depending on how I brush it. That, you know, if you've ever seen my birdie ball review, I put a link in the description. But we know the birdie ball putting mat has about an 11 to 12 stem. So we really got to figure out how fast the carpet rolls, and I'm going to give you an idea of how you can do that. All right, now to make this work, you're going to need a couple of things. You're going to need yourself a flat surface. A book will do. I'm actually going to use this Jack Nicklaus course design book. You're going to need yourself a tape measure, and then obviously a couple of golf balls. So the goal here is we want to roll these golf balls down a flat level surface, and then we want to roll about 3 balls from the same distance. We want to drop them from the same distance on the book or the flat surface that you have. And essentially what we want to do is we want to know how far out the balls roll, and that'll give us an idea of what the general stimp is. So I know a lot of you may not have a birdie ball green or something that you can measure against your like to have a baseline stimp, but I'm just going to use a regular like 12-inch book. So if you were to do this at home, you probably might be roughly in the same area. Ultimately, the goal isn't to have a 100% true accurate measurement, but we do want to kind of have a general idea of what kind of distances we're rolling our putts at if we're going to be rolling it on the carpet indoors. So I'm just going to do this test real quick on the birdie ball, and then we're going to do the same test on the carpet. All right, so I've just propped the book up on the edge here with this extra little ball basket that I have. It doesn't really matter what you use as long as it's the same height to kind of give yourself some consistency. And I'm just going to take 3 of these balls and I'm just going to release them And I'm gonna take 3 of these, release them. And they should roll about the same distance, assuming that I've done this well. Perfect. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and take this middle ball, this guy right here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and measure that distance from here to where I rolled it out. All right, and I roughly got 8 feet from that distance. Now I'm gonna do the exact same thing, but just on the carpet. So with that setup, we know that the ball releases 8 feet. So I'm gonna take that number, and then I'm gonna obviously divide whatever number that I get by off of the carpet, and that'll tell me the ratio of how much a foot of carpet is equal to a foot of green that rolls at 11 to 12 steps. Get real scientific up in here. Mom, I told you I'd use that engineering degree for something good. So I'm gonna just roll 4 balls because I just think there's more variance in the carpet. Yeah, so surprisingly that's a pretty good result. I'm just gonna go ahead and take this middle ball here and just remove those. And then we're gonna just measure what that distance is. So that's perfect. It's almost exactly a 1 to 2 ratio. So it was 3 feet, 10 inches, almost 11 inches, let's just call it. So it looks to be that the stimp of the carpet is about half the speed of the stimp of the birdie ball, which is roughly 10 to 11 stimp. So we can safely assume that for every foot of carpet that we have is going to be equal to about 2 feet of roll on the green. So knowing that I have 10 feet from here to the birdie ball, that's going to give me roughly 20 feet of distance on this side, 10 feet over there. So I have 30 feet of total space that I can really work on my game. Now that we understand that, let's take a look at a couple of different drills that I'm going to be using for 30 to 45 minutes every single day to make sure that I can increase my feel around the greens and make sure I get my distance control a lot better with the putter. I'm going to take 5 of these balls and I'm basically just going to putt them at the hole down there. I may even cover up the hole while I'm doing this because the goal from this distance is to focus solely on pace. I don't want to be training my brain to be thinking about getting it in the hole. So I am going to hit a couple with just this, and then we'll take a look and see what that does. Let's see exactly how poor my distance control has become. No judgment on this because clearly this is an area of my game that needs to be improved. And I'm just going to do 5 of these in a row. Okay, so that one was just a little hard, but I think that probably would have been maybe about 2 feet or so past the hole, so I think that was a pass. That's going to be a little short. That was long, and it's offline. So overall, as I'm hitting these putts, the distance control is not that bad, but I can't really tell. I put 2 in the hole, but 3 of them rolled off the carpet. So it's likely that I'm leaving the face open, which if you're gonna be more than a few degrees off at this distance, you're gonna be increasing your proximity to the hole because the ball's gonna be going offline. So I'm gonna focus on practicing these drills here, and my goal is that over time, doing 25 to 30 minutes of this every single day, I'm gonna slowly start to pick back up my feel of putter distance control. All in all, I know I normally have videos where I'm definitely hitting the ball very well, but unfortunately my distance control with the putter just has not been where I want it to lately. So a lot of me starting and me working back into this is gonna look a lot like these drills. Like, I've lost my touch a little bit and I don't have as good of distance control as I would like to. So we're gonna keep working at this. I figured I would give you a cool idea and a way to work on your putting indoors in case some of you down that lens may be, quarantined or at home, or maybe just not able to get to the course, but you happen to have, 10 or 15 feet of carpet that you can putt on. Are any of you all down that lens working on your putting game? Let me know what kind of drills that you work on. I'd love to hear from you. As always, thank you very much for watching my channel. Deuces, people. I keep doing Deuces, people. Let's keep it.